Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something nice for you today. We got some good stuff out the book. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, message in the story. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker subscriber or follower, your goal is to know thyself. That's what you're here to do. That's what I'm here to give you. So let's go. Information that you need to do just that. That's what I do for you. So I asked you the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. And if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you out with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and thinks or believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, spiritually asleep. Okay. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons beside you, excuse me. Right thinkers, know thyself, and you know the deal. To Mayat, be true. About to get some information about her coming up. I got you. But we're doing a meditation thing, the history of ancient history of meditation. And I got the book right here. Okay. I've been in it for the last few days. But usually I like to read the back of the book because it gives you a little bit of information on what's in the book or what you already read. As a teacher, your job is to tell them what you're going to tell them, and then you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. And he does a great job at that. So that's why I pattern my philosophy after his, and so to speak, as he teach, I teach the way he taught me, the way I learned from him. So he shows you thinking, to think, to ponder, to fix attention. That's meditation. That's the definition. But do you know, or did you know, that the art of meditation was practiced in ancient Egypt over 5,000 years ago? Be China, be India. Egyptians were the first originators of meditation. And what is meditation, and why has the world seen a resurgence in the interest and the practice of meditation? Most people have learned about meditation through what? The teachings of Indian yogas. Fine. However, the practitioners of yoga in ancient Egypt had already worked out the intricacies of the human mind and the method to what? Purify the psycho, the mind, the physical body complex that is what? You, the human being. In order to allow you, again, spiritual aspirant. Aspirant means to aspire, to want to. That's the fire. If you're that, then that's what we're doing, giving you what you desire to discover what? Spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. This book contains the first recorded meditation practice. How about that? In our historical era, and also provides a comprehensive, detailed study of the techniques used in ancient Egypt for attaining, you ready? Super consciousness. Not just consciousness, not just God consciousness. Super conscious means you are raised way above the norm, okay? Superman. See that S, that's where it comes from. He's the sun god too. Another lesson, but he got the concept too. Discover the peace and joy of meditation. I'm trying to give you all that understanding as we go along and learn and understand the purpose of how to practice meditating. It's personal. It ain't about cheating, lying, and trying to get somebody to think you're doing something. It's all personal. I don't share my meditative concepts with nobody. Why? Again, it's personal. I teach you how to do yours. That's why it's personal. Again, when you learn how to control the meditation, learning how to what? Control the breathing so as to control your emotions. When I get a little, I tell myself, calm down, breathe, work it down. Bring it down. Yeah, control. Why? Because when you get agitated, it goes up. You try to bring your breath rate, your heartbeat down to normal so you can function. It's hard to function in that state of mind. That's why meditating teach you how to stay in that state of mind. That's the goal. Okay. Now, learn how to use words of power. We call it heka, or they call it chants. I ain't into that one, so that's something I don't practice. But for spiritual transformation, you have to have these things in place and practice them to what? To discover the oldest meditation technique in history, the meditation of what? You ready? Oneness. Everything is on the one. Understand? And with the divine is Maya. Everything that's good, pure, and right, that's divine. When you practice those things, 42 confessions of Maya, for yourself, you will become a divine human being. We are already divine spiritual beings because that's the gift. The concept of you learning how to live, do, and be, to understand and be that gift, to be your best self. Why? Because that's how you go back home. That's the concept. And wrapping it up, the divine serpent power, which in Egyptian had it called the serpent power. Everybody's called it Kundalini and chakras, but we the originators, so they can call it what they want. It's all the same thing. Moving on. Serpent power meditation. And they call what? Slowness meditation techniques. I'm going to give that information too. But these are things that get what? You become a one with yourself, your higher self. A lot of people think, well, I'm just only human. No, we're spiritual beings, divine in spirit. All we got to do is understand that consciously. My job to get you to do that. So let's get back to the lesson. All right. The ancient history of meditation, excuse me. The practice of meditation has received much publicity all of a sudden. Why? Due to the resurgence of the interest in the Eastern religions. Why? We see that they're living longer. Their life expectancy is better than ours. Their health is better than ours. So you might want to pick up some of the things that they're doing. You think? If somebody's doing something that's good, it's okay to emulate that. We tend to emulate what? Bad stuff. Moving on. Been there, done that too. But the good stuff don't seem too inviting no more. Nobody wants to be good. Everybody want to be bad. I'm changing that trend. So much, watch this. And it's been bad so much that what most people in modern times consider the practice of meditation as having originated in India or China, because those ones who practice it and manifest it with Egyptian, it was just an aspect, one part of what we do. Other people took that one aspect and made a whole concept out of it, aka the serpent power, Kundalini, and even with the meditation. Let's go. This is how I teach concepts and get across my point from understanding. Those who understand will get the point. Those who are ignorant will argue. I don't argue, I teach. And if you think Christ, anything is, don't come to my comment section with that Christ and biblical philosophical concept. I have no use for that. I don't teach. I don't practice that. Again, that's not what I teach. That's not right thing of philosophy. The few things that's in the Bible that I understand and I get it, okay, but that's it. Moving on. I fellowship with Christians. Understand that. So I got no problem with Christian people, Christ-based people at all. But understand this. We think it came out of India and China. However, if you did a deeper research, which most people don't do, into ancient Egyptian mythology, the stories that we tell, and the philosophy that we live by, it will reveal that what? The practices which are today known as yoga, we call it Semi-Taoist, aka Egyptian yoga, were practiced thousands of years ago where in ancient Egypt. Again, these practices include meditation, hello, and vegetation, vegetarianism, as well as what other major yoga philosophies, which survive to this day under the auspicious names of Panjalil from India and the other guy from China. They get all the credit for the meditation. We ain't Buddha. We don't care about that. Again, it ain't about bragging about we did this, we did that. No, we just do what we do. And perhaps we were the earliest recorded meditation practice and instruction. You know where it comes from? The teachings of the destruction of mankind. And I'm about to give that lesson. We're about to go there. Oh, this is about to get good. Now, which is inscribed in hieroglyphs, text on the walls of the chamber in the tomb of King Seti I of ancient Egypt, who was a real person who lived between the years 2000 and 1250 BCE, or maybe earlier, okay, depending who's telling the story. But it's true, and it describes what? The words of power, uttering words. Remember, Ta came into existence by what? Uttering himself into existence. Okay, so words have power. I hear now words are spelled right. Yeah, all that. I listen to all that, but I don't subscribe to none of it. But I get what they're saying. I understand what they're saying. True. Don't knock it. Just move on. And some of it's right. Some of it's good. And the problem now is we take a truth. Okay, I keep using the cocaine metaphor. Sorry, but when you got pure cocaine, everybody can't deal with it. So you got to what? Cut it. Make it consumable. When you know what you're doing, you know who you're serving, you can do that. And everybody knew one thing. I had good cocaine. Why? Because I didn't whack it out with garbage. I kept it cocaine. And when the police pull you over, they do the test for cocaine potency. You got the light blue shade of this color, light blue. So they know it's cocaine in there. When they go that royal blue, they want to know where you get this from. Why? They know the purity of it is good. Long story, but quickly, that's the whole point. When you give people some things they cannot handle, so you got to make it what? Consumable. Cut it down, break it down, and give it to them in little bits so they can understand. But the truth should always be served uncut. Understand that. And you got to use visualization and posture. Every time somebody see a guy yogi in India, the guy is sitting in a lotus position. We got that concept. We just ain't all doing it. We got 26 different yoga postures. Again, every letter of the alphabet. There's a whole bunch of symbolism there, whole bunch of esoteric meanings there. I just don't teach it. I understand. I know it. That ain't what I teach. But it's there. So for those who want to indulge and get understanding. But you got to have posture, elements of meditation. These are the procedures for practicing the meditation. Set yourself up, get in position, and that's formally going to meditative state. I live in that state of mind, the meditative state of mind. Moving on, that's when you get good. Now, a compendium, meaning a breakdown of the myths, is included below. I'm about to get to that. Why? Because it contains important mystical teachings, philosophical, in reference to what? The mystical psychology and the nature of what? Human consciousness. Following the compendium, there will be a gloss, another breakdown of what? Or a brief commentary explaining what? An elucidate synopsis of the mystical implications of the myth. It's going to spread to you what the myth is about if you don't fully understand it. We break it down to give you tutorials, meaning break it down a little more simple. If you don't get the basics, okay, we get a little more depth for you, but you need to be understanding. It don't make no good, or don't do no good not to understand the concept that we're trying to teach. So a meditation based on what? The teachings of the myth will be presented in the final section of this manual. I'll give you the story. But how about right now? Let's talk about my favorite, creation. I'm about to go off script. Okay, somebody's gonna like that. You see those people right there? Okay, that's called creation, the story of creation. That's the boat of a million years. You see Ra and his other constituents, and all those are pretty much elements and elements. Sun, Ra, but we put them in human form so you can understand and study them. So let's go. This is from the hieroglyphic text titled The History of Creation. Ra and the company of God and goddesses on the barge of 1,000,000 years. Time has been instructed for a long time. They planned that, and they've been around a long time. We took the elements, sun, air, water, earth, and heaven, gave them identities as people so that we can study philosophically, metaphorically, and understand what they represent so we get a better understanding of who? Ourselves. And they're all part of your character or your personality. Watch this. So here is the story of Ra. I keep thinking, why did Brady Bunch keep coming to my mind? Here's a story about Ra, the God who was self-begotten and self-created. Right there. Stop and understand, please. The story starts with the self-created God, okay? Now, he created men and women from who? His own being. Hence, he's a part of him. He's a part of us. In the spirit, that's what God is, spirit. So he, in human beings, he's inside us. So we are spiritual beings from God, the grace that gives us life, sustainer. And we are in a human form, physical form, so we can have what? This experience. So that our free will mind can get a chance to exercise its right to do what it needs to do. And if it don't get it right, what? It's going to be reincarnated, but it'll be a new mind. Your spirit will come back. The spirit got a little memory, but your conscious gone forever. Simple. Moving on. That's the concept. Don't get all freaked out, but that's just a concept that we taught that we can understand. It ain't no, ooh, no, you do right, you good, you do wrong, you punish. And watch this. The sentence for sin, death. If you went against Ra, you spoke, talked against Ra, watch this. I hope y'all listening. This is fun for me. Why? Because this is a concept that I can understand and identify with. Watch this. So when he did that, created man and women from his own being, he assumed what? The sovereignty over men and women. We all feel the need that we have a father figure. We got somebody over us to protect us, look out for us, bless us. Yeah, and in nature, he does just that. That's why he put it that way. And gods and goddesses, what? All came from one God. Again, upon rising from what? The first time out of the new. We called the ocean, the abyss, the new. And it was God. Watch this. The primordial ocean, where Ra emitted from himself. He brought out Shu, which is what? Air and space, or some people call it ether. Then he brought out Tefnut, which is moisture. Water was already here. We got moisture coming from a hot coming down. That's Tefnut. This is all preparing. This is being conscious of what we need before we even get here. That's why they call him all conscious. Watch this. And these two together gave birth to what? The earth, the physical matter, which we call Geb, and Nut, which is heaven, the sky, we call Nut. Okay? And heaven is between Nut's legs. Moving on. Dr. Ben made that clear a long time ago, and everybody has to freak out. But once you understand it, you get the concept. If you see, you ever see pillows? Whenever you see two things, you see back here, I'm sitting between two pillows. Okay? Strength and beauty. At one time, that was wisdom. Now, because in the spirit form, he's my strength. He's who I look up to. And I'm your beauty. I'm the works that the results that become from doing what? The right thing. Moving on. It's all conceptual, symbolically, but you can manifest it. That's the beauty of it. Okay, that's how it works. Hope you understand it. Let's go. Now, we about to get into some good stuff. You see me doing this. That's me paying praise and respect to Maya. Okay? Ultimate praise is dua, the sign of worship, or I call it giving praise by putting scales up. They represent balance, okay? That's just my personal philosophical concept, and I use it. Okay, but Mayat, here you go, is who? Is a daughter of Ra. It is said, Mayat is the foundation of creation. And Mayat is what everything is based on, since Ra does what? He stands in his boat of creation, and he stands on the pedestal of Mayat. She's represented by the pedestal. Okay? When we respect stuff, we do what? Put on the pedestal. God stands on the pedestal, and the pedestal is Maya. She represents balance. When you see the scales now, they're a little tilted. Maya scales is always balanced, even. That's what she represents. That represents duality. You got just as much hours dark as we have daylight. It ain't ever gonna change. It's been that way. That's how it is. Understand that. Work within the confines of what it is. Stop trying to change stuff to make it what you think it should be. You ain't nobody but a speck in this big global thing we call the world. Understand that. Don't get all caught up in yourself. Understand that, please. That's ego. Okay. Now let's talk about the destruction of evil men and women. Right, thinkers. I'm gonna end the lesson. I'm gonna go to part two. Sorry about that, but I'm about to get involved in some good information for you. But I gotta cut this lesson short so I can get to that and have the time I need to do it in. So at this closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus the day. So I never know that right thinker like you passed away. Stay tuned. I got part two for you: destruction of evil men and women. I'll be back.